On today's mock draft, we are actually going to stay pat. We're not going to trade. We're just going to stay with what we got. So right now we're just messing around with some of the things like we made more needs, positional value, randomness. Like we're just going to be able to play a whole bunch of different scenarios here, but we're not going to trade at all. We're going to see what we come up with. Before you do anything else, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. So my guy Genty's off the board. That's who I was looking for mainly. And so we're looking at some really good players here. Kenneth Grant, Josh Simmons, Mecca Buka, Kelvin Banks is there. So if you want to go tackle or whatnot, you could. Cam Ward is there. Honestly, I don't see Cam Ward falling that far, but we've seen crazier things. I see Matthew Golden there, Omarion Hampton. So there's a really plethora there's a list of guys here that probably this would have been a trade back spot, but let's just say you can't, right? And you got to keep your eyes on some of the second round guys that you might be able to get. So Talik was sitting there. I know some people are high on Michael Williams. But like I'm looking right here and depending on how you want to do it and see who's there, like Luther Burden, Tyler Warren, however you want to do it, right? For me, I know that I have to be aggressive at wide receiver or running back because Dallas hasn't done jack in free agency. They haven't done anything. So that's what makes it tough right here because you have so much talent and this is really a good trade back spot, but you have to stay pat and get the guy that you want right here with this pick. So that's what makes it tough. So I say wide receiver based on what we got, Matthew Golden. You go wide receiver there. And I wanted to see exactly how it would look. So this first draft is going to be all right if we went wide receiver. Second draft is going to be if we go running back. So Matthew Golden, and you're starting to see people go off the board. And now it's like, all right, needs that we still have, running back. For them, they have edge and guard. But I also look at stuff like corner. I'm also looking at linebacker. I mean, Dallas has so many holes to fill. And free agency, like we got some edges in free agency. We got some defensive linemen in free agency. So, I mean, again, there's a plethora of guys. I think second round in this draft is going to be some future edge type guys, right? But you see Morrison sitting there at the corner spot. I mean, some really good players here, man. And in the comment section, I would love to know, based on who's available, who you would have picked at what pick or whatnot. And so right now, what we're going to do, we're going to see, all right, what wide receivers, we already went wide receivers. So I think we need to see what running backs are there. So Judkins is there, Dylan Sampson, Caleb Johnson, Travion Henderson. So RJ Harvey, DJ Giddens. Like you still got a good plethora of backs there. So you might be able to, pick something else here and then live with whatever your third round back is. But in my opinion, you got to go running back within your first three picks. So the biggest thing that I'm looking at right now in the second round is the defensive talent that's on the board. And I think that you can really shore up some of the, we want to stop the run. We want to be able to run and stop the run. And I believe that the defensive talent outweighs what the running back is here. So I'm more so looking for, is there an edge type guy that I can get or a defensive interior? And we went Shamar Turner there because we got Osa. Now we got rotation with another three technique type body with a high motor, strong hands, strong game speed type of player. So I'm excited about that. So now we have to go aggressive at running back. And I think Dylan Sampson, Cam Scatterbo, based on the backs that we have left or the backs that we have on the roster, which signing Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams, I think that we probably need to go with some familiarity there with the guy that we have. So you see the picks we have. We have Matthew Golden, Shamar Turner, and now we must look at what running backs are left. Cam Scatterbo. I personally believe we have a Cam Scatterbo on our roster already, and Hunter Lipke. So I think we go DJ Giddens based on the offensive line coach, based on the familiarity with Cooper Beebe. And I think DJ Giddens is more of an elusive type back, one cut type back. He has a good change of direction. Probably have to, his body lean a little bit more, needs to be improved with NFL coaching. I think we can make it work. For the sake of, kind of making this video go, I mean, and, so that you guys can see what type of talent is going off the board. I believe Dallas needs a corner now, and you're starting to see some really good talent go off the board. And so for me, I think that that your corner room right now is having trouble with being able to stay healthy. You have two really good corners, but at the same time, you got one that's up for a contract, and then you got the other one that can't stay healthy on the field. So I think you gotta kind of look in that direction. Then again, quarterback is a very, very sensitive or really important. Backup quarterback right now is important because your quarterback hasn't been upright, in a couple of these years. So you know that you got to get a guy that can at least come in here and play 3 to 4 games should you need him. So I think quarterback corner, you're kind of toggling it at this point. But I see my guy Quincy Riley and I got Rock Carmichael told us that Quincy Riley is a dog. We saw it at the Senior Bowl. And for me, I'm thinking, all right, that's who I got to go with because I know he can play. So far, man, we got a wide receiver, we got a 3 tech, we got a running back, we got a cornerback. I think right now you're feeling good about how this draft is going. You're feeling really good. And now you can kind of go get a quarterback, right? So I don't know what the heck was going on right here, but you got to get a quarterback that can play, right? And there are also positions that you could double up on. You can double up at maybe defensive interior, maybe getting a one technique. Wide receiver, you could double up on, or you could double up on running back as well. So I like where we are in this draft because we have fulfilled some needs right now. Also, man, another sneaky need is guard. I know we like, I know we like our situation at offensive line, but also keep in mind too, like we signed our guy Hoffman to a tender, so it's like, do you go with guard? And I think that we did. We went with Tyler Cooper, which I'm okay with from Minnesota. I really, really like, going Big Ten. You're going with pedigree. And so now after that, then I'm like, all right, we can go quarterback. And Curtis Rourke out of Indiana, man, this is a real big sleeper right here. Curtis Rourke can play some football. He has the size, the pedigree. This is somebody that I think can do the things that Cooper Rush was doing, but he has a lot more athleticism. And I think that he's a little bit more heady. What really stood out to me about him was his poise. I really liked his tape. So go take a look at it if you get a chance. Oh my God, Ty Felton went off the board. I was really, really, really looking forward to him. But here's the thing. We got a running mate still in there. Kadeem Prather out of Maryland. And I really like his tape as well. Maryland had some receivers, man. The thing about drafts are understanding tiers, and sometimes you're not going to get the guy that you want. To me, Prather and Felton are my if I can't get Tet insurance plan. As it looks right now, I'm going to look on the defensive side to see if I can help bolster that defense a little bit. I could still go and get me a linebacker, um, which I'm going to look at the linebackers here and see if the talent there is something that I can help my defense with. Same thing with the edge because I feel like this team could have a little bit more edge depth. Sometimes the Cowboys have been kind of bit by injuries when it comes to edge, so you can always improve there. But defensive interior, which I'm looking at right now, we need a 1 tech to back up Mozzie Smith. We already got a 3 tech. Now let's look for some guys that have some 1 technique snaps, and Cam Horsley fits that right here. He's a massive human being. So at this point now, we're just throwing darts at a board. We got our last 2 picks, and we're just gonna try and get maybe a position that maybe we could add some depth at, or maybe we could see, if somebody can be a camp body or something like that. I'm looking at Malachi Moore out of Alabama. I know he graded high. I don't know much about the player outside of a couple of highlights, and I like what I saw on tape. So we'll get a look at him in camp and see if he can kind of push some of our guys. I mean, to be honest with you, pedigree at safety could improve. So maybe Malachi comes in and pushes some guys. And then the last pick, we're looking at 247 again. Might be doubling up and running back. We already got a safety. I like what I see in Jaquindon and Joquavius Marks out of USC. The thing that I like about Joquavius is He runs the ball with urgency. Now, when I look at his tape, I'm not going to look at him like I look at Hampton or I look at Jim Genty or any of those top guys. But I do like to see guys at this point right now with running back, if they run with urgency, if they have good vision. And I liked what I saw at the combine from him. So we finished our draft. We ended up getting Matthew Golden, Shamar Turner, Giddens, Riley. Like this is what the board looks like. I'm really, really excited about what we were able to get in this draft. And let me know in the comment section how you feel about this draft and if there were some areas you would improve.
Turn the pressure up. I don't quit. I don't fold under pressure. I'm the best, and I know I'm the best. And you know I'm the best.